We Muslims giving da'wah to the atheists. They drove us crazy by saying to us, no, listen, we cannot see God. That's why we don't believe in God. But hold a minute now. Why many of us are scared to leave their houses because of coronavirus? We cannot see coronavirus.
Stop. Oh, no. There is a German word called Fremdschämen, which is not quite the same as to cringe. It means to feel shame on behalf of someone else. When someone else embarrasses themselves, then you feel embarrassed for them on their behalf. That's kind of what this feels like. Although I don't really want to be embarrassed for this guy because I don't really care about you, but I kind of feel bad about you too, dear guy. Yesterday, when I thought I was done with the day and I wanted to spend some time with my family and I was putting my phone away, I saw this video come up somewhere. The title of it was "The Double Standards of Atheists During These Times." I thought these times probably refers to the COVID outbreak. And atheists, God, COVID, oh no, I know what this is about. And I really wanted to be disappointed. But I went on this video, started watching it. Let me present to you the genius of the Muslim mind.
I just want to send a message to the atheists. Atheists, how many times we were giving da'wah in outside stations in London, or even we go to, Ireland, the brothers went to brothers in America. We Muslims giving da'wah to the atheists. They drove us crazy by saying to us, no, listen, we cannot see God. That's why we don't believe in God. So therefore, they restricted knowing something. To know something with certainty, you have to see it.
Okay, hold on. First off, what atheists mean when they say you cannot see God or you cannot prove God is not that you cannot visually see God. What they mean is that you cannot prove the existence of God based on evidence that all of us can observe without putting any interpretation into it or belief into it. You cannot scientifically prove the existence of God. It looks like this guy is either really trying to take something heavily out of context, or he really thinks that that's what people mean. And I don't want to judge anyone's intelligence, anyone's thinking skills, anyone's comprehension skills, but I don't have a lot of faith.
But hold a minute now. Why many of us are scared to leave their houses because of coronavirus? We cannot see coronavirus.
Coronavirus is called coronavirus because corona means crown in Latin. And the virus has a shape that resembles a crown, which is why people named it coronavirus. We see the coronavirus, and it's not just the scientists who can see it. It is even if you acquire the skills and the means and the tools to observe it, you can actually see it.
But you're going to tell me no? Muslim, calm down. We can see the effect of it. Likewise, the scientists, they seen it through microscope. I would say no. You just contradict yourself, because you said the only way to know something, not all of you, majority of you say, in order for you to know something with certainty, okay, you have to see it, and that is incorrect, because the means of knowing something is not restricted in. You have to observe it. No, there's other means.
Okay, he's completely making a straw man here, and he's making it look like atheists are saying something like that we need to see something in order to believe in it, which is why if atheists say that we see the effects of the coronavirus and we see that scientists can see the coronavirus, we directly contradict ourselves, because we actually just said that in order to believe in something, we have to see that specific thing. But no one said that. That's what you just said. So people are not contradicting themselves. They are contradicting you.
Now, you have to accept there is coronavirus. Otherwise, you should not be speaking out against those who believe it's a conspiracy.
What?
By the way, I don't believe that, but I'm just saying that. Okay? But the point here is, I don't want to lose a track. Let us establish knowing something is not restricted, or you have to see it. It's not conditional. You have to see it. So now you can see the effect of it. Yes, we agree. Likewise, you're going to say that the scientists, they can see it through microscope. So therefore, knowing something can be based upon the speech of the trustworthy ones.
No. Don't go there.
Okay? Likewise, by the effects of something.
No, please don't do this. Shamsi, don't do this.
Therefore, what about the effect of the Creator? There's nothing clearer than the effect of the Creator within His creation.
Okay. This is really getting too much. Let's completely accept that what this guy says, that this guy's defense of atheists is actually a valid defense, or is actually a defense that atheists make. I could actually say that. I could say we accept the existence of the coronavirus because, one, we see the effects of the coronavirus in the world and on ourselves. And two, we can actually observe the coronavirus through different people and different means. And I have to disagree there with you because let me come to that first. That's the easy part. It is not just the scientists who see the coronavirus. We have a lot of means nowadays to see the coronavirus. We can take blood examples and can directly see the coronavirus. We can directly observe it. We can look at it. It is physically there. You can put it under a microscope and look at this coronavirus. And that is not just something that scientists, who are people distinguished from society, do. Scientists are people like you and me. I wouldn't say like you, but I'm sorry. Scientists are people from among us who simply study something for years and then acquire a certain degree, which is why they use tools that you and I have access to as well. And a lot of people help scientists out who are not scientists themselves, who also directly see the coronavirus. They directly observe it. We get images that show us the coronavirus. If you go online and Google the coronavirus and look for what it actually looks like, you see images of the coronavirus. You see that. We are meanwhile developing tests according to which you can get a result of the coronavirus within just minutes. By this means you don't see the coronavirus itself directly, but you see traces, markers of the coronavirus. So no, we don't just depend on the words of accomplished scientists. You can put the virus under a microscope and you can see it. Have you ever tried to put Allah under a microscope, dear Shamsi? Can we maybe try and have a look at Allah? Maybe you can look through a microscope and you can see Allah under the microscope and you can like wave at you like, hey, you found me. I hope you believe in me now. That doesn't work. You cannot take a telescope and look into the sky and see Allah either. You see what is happening here. You are comparing two incomparable things. We can literally prove and observe the physical existence of the coronavirus, while we cannot prove the physical existence of God. Coming to the other point, which is about seeing the impacts, the effects of the coronavirus, and comparing that to seeing the effects of Allah's creation, that is also an extremely absurd comparison. We know that the coronavirus causes a specific disease. When we see specific symptoms of this disease, then we think, oh, okay, this looks like this person has a coronavirus. Then we go and make a test, and then we identify that it is indeed the coronavirus that has infected this person with what we now call COVID-19. You cannot prove by looking at a mountain or by looking at trees or by looking at the sky that that is what Allah does, that the existence of a mountain or a tree proves Allah's existence. We don't, by common sense, conclude and prove through different tools and means that what Allah does is create, which means that if something exists, that is proof of Allah's existence. That's not how it works. That might be how it works to you because you believe that Allah is the creator and He creates things. And if you look at things, you think, well, okay, that was created by Allah, but that is because you believe that. No matter if you are a believer or if you are an atheist, it is very clear that this is a completely absurd false equivalency. It doesn't work that way. That is very basic logic fail.
In His creation, the heavens and the earth and that which is between them, all of us, all this creation give us clear-cut indication that there is a creator, all-knowing, all-knowledgeable and all-powerful.
How the hell did you come to the conclusion that we cannot even logically come to the conclusion that because there is a mountain or because there is a human, this is direct proof that Allah has created it? But how would you come to the conclusion that He is also all-knowing and almighty?
Likewise, you can see the mercy and you can see the power that He can turn His mercy to His anger, the Most High. Likewise,
where do you see the mercy and anger? This gives me anxiety. Watching this makes me feel, I have such conflicting feelings. It makes me feel pain. It hurts my brain. It makes me feel hopeless, dark, deep inside. It makes me feel like, why are we doing all of this? You know, what is the point? It makes me feel like giving up on human civilization. This video has 20,000 views, 1,400 likes, and 25 dislikes.
Let us go back to, you are trusting scientists. You don't even know if they are trustworthy, they are liars, or they've been like, they are working for some governments. You don't know. Okay, what about the prophets and messengers? So prophets and messengers historically were known amongst their nations to be trustworthy, truthful, honest people. You see, even though they never met each other, they came with the same teaching. So therefore, all atheists, knowing something is not restricted only, you have to see it.
I'm sorry to say this, and I don't know if there is any way that I can express this without sounding condescending, but what the hell, man? What is happening here is that you are doubting the credibility of scientists whom you can directly see, talk to, observe, and you can see what they have learned. And they directly, transparently even show you the results of their studies so that you can see it for yourself. And in case you don't understand it, they can go ahead and lengthily explain it to you in articles that you cannot even understand, which is understandable. When I come across a study or peer-reviewed research, I think, wow, this is quite complicated. But you have issues with their possible credibility. But then you believe that prophets told you the truth. Although you didn't know those prophets, you didn't know who they were and how they were. The only reports that you have about them is how people might have thought about them. And you don't even have that about most of the prophets. You don't have any reports from other people about their conduct and how they actually were. We only have books. And in Islam, you don't even have those books. In Islam, you even believe that the books of the prophets, that the old books of Christians and Jews were corrupted. So you reject all those books. So you have actually nothing at all except the Quran, which says that those prophets were good people. That's the only thing you have. You only have a book which tells you that the prophets were good people. Look at this reasoning. Oh my God, what the hell? Look at this reasoning. This guy is telling us that we should trust the words of prophets if we trust the words of scientists, because the scientists could do anything. They could be deceiving us and working for governments, while we know about the prophets that they were good people. Which is why we should trust them on their observation and belief in Allah. But the only way that he actually knows or believes that these prophets were reliable people is by trusting the Quran, which he then trusts again by trusting these prophets, which he trusts again by trusting the Quran, which he trusts again by trusting the prophets, which he trusts again by trusting the Quran, which he trusts again by trusting Muhammad, which he trusts again by trusting the Quran. By the way, you cannot even prove that these people actually existed. You cannot prove that half of the prophets, and I really have no issue with this at all. I'm not saying, hey, this is a good argument against God's existence, because you cannot actually prove that prophets existed. But if you want to let it come down to that, you can actually not prove that half of these people that you refer to as prophets even existed. You have around 30 people which are mentioned in the Quran, almost entirely based on Old Testament books, Old Testament names. You also believe, according to Islam, that there were thousands of other prophets, and the only proof of their existence are reports that came 200 years after Muhammad, according to which Muhammad said there were so many prophets. Oh my God.
Also, you are London, America, England or UK, America, France. People are scared to leave their houses. If you look out the window, you don't know what you're scared of, because you cannot see coronavirus.
You can.
So, but you see the effects of it. Likewise, you're taking the narrations of the people. What about the prophets and messengers that Allah sent with the clear-cut proofs? Rather, the proofs that the Muslims have to establish there is a creator and Islam is the truth is overwhelming and is a powerful, solid proofs. Alhamdulillah.
I just imagine confronting this guy and this guy actually telling me these things in person. I wouldn't even have the energy, I wouldn't even have the willpower to say half of the things that I have just said. Would my brain really be able to cope with the fact that I'm seriously having this conversation with somebody? I will see you soon. Have a great day. And seriously, stay away from Islam.